Hello, Goddess Temple, and a happy Monday. I'm back for another empowered live session, and I'm so excited to be here. So I'm just gonna wait a few moments to see who's popping on. And if you're here and you're joining, then say hello so that I know that you're here. While I'm waiting, just getting comfortable in my space. So today I'm talking all about feeling those feels and how we can really feel into them and what they're teaching us and what lessons we can learn from them and how to really be with them. And this is a topic that I'm very passionate about because it's something that we all go through on a day-to-day basis. So let's get reals and talk about the feels. So let's just start by coming back to ourselves, coming home to ourselves and our bodies if we haven't quite awakened yet or felt connected to ourselves. So let's just get into a comfortable position. Sitting uptight. Putting a hand on your heart, feeling that heartbeat, reminding yourselves that you're alive this morning and how good that feels. And putting another hand on your stomach and giving her love and knowing that in this moment you're just with you and there's no one else around. Let that stomach out. Let it be. So just grounding into the space, rooting down into the earth, feeling your feet firmly on the ground, knowing that you're safe here and you're supported, and taking a nourishing breath in, filling up your lungs, filling up your cells with everything you've got, with new air and energy. And letting it go, and shaking your head and shaking your hands if it feels good. Letting go of yesterday. Letting go of your worries about the rest of the day or tomorrow, and just being here right now. And taking another medicine breath in. Letting it go. Just noticing how good that feels. We just let it all go. Because we hold so much tension in our body. And that breath is an amazing anchor, bringing us back to ourselves. So one more time. And in this space, and in your body, I invite you to do a body check right now and to just feel into where you might feel tension or a blockage or pain or feeling of anxiety, maybe in your throat. In your throat chakra, you might feel a restriction. Is there something that you want to get out or you need to say but are finding it hard? Maybe in your power center, in your solar plexus. Is there anything that feels stuck and that your breath can help you move? And just noticing if you feel any blockages anywhere and if you can give a loving breath to that area. And just acknowledging it and feeling it and being with it. And knowing that nothing stays the same. And even though you might be feeling some discomfort, that this isn't going to last. So last time, we're going to take a nourishing breath in with everything we've got, giving ourselves love. And placing our hands at our heart center. And just being grateful for being here right now and for feeling whatever we feel. Hello, ladies. Hey, Ash. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Karen. That felt good. So today I'm talking about feeling all the feels, and boy, do I feel those feels, and don't we all? And it's part of the human experience, and when we're younger, we're not taught to feel our feelings at all. In fact, you know, growing up, my dad would say to me, like, don't be a crybaby, or stop being so emotional, Georgia, or like, life throws shit at you, you can't just cry. And, you know, it was kind of that feeling that maybe I'm too emotional, or maybe I'm too sensitive. And I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but then it creates kind of that negativity around it. But the truth is that we are supposed to feel, as humans, we are supposed to feel. And even though it's hard sometimes, it makes us alive and it makes us human. And one tip that I really, really, really have is that feelings don't go away. So if we don't kind of acknowledge them or sit with them or be with them, they don't just disappear, but they manifest. And that's how mental illness comes about. That's how eating disorders and other addictions and even actually illnesses, because when they sit and the emotions sit and they manifest inside us, they come out in different ways. They never really disappear. So the truth is that the only way out is in, and we really can learn so much from being with our feelings. So when we feel and when we have that thought that has created this feeling, it's not to have judgment around it and not to add more layers to it and to feel weird about ourselves, or why am I feeling like this, or why am I stuck on this, or why am I a crybaby, or can't I just move on? And that just adds more layers and just makes it more uncomfortable. So when the thought has arisen and it's caused this vibration in our body and we're really feeling, not to add judgment to it, and to try and just acknowledge that this is how I'm feeling right now, and to understand where it came from. What was that thought? What is the story that I am telling myself? Hey, Garcia, that I'm telling myself that has created this. For women, I really, really, really understand this, but I feel like as women, we really hold on to guilt and shame, and they are such detrimental feelings to sit with when they eat us alive and we're stuck on this hamster wheel of regretting, and I should have done this, and kind of feeling guilty and shameful about acting in a certain way. So in those moments when it feels so uncomfortable and that shame and that guilt arises, it's asking ourselves, what is this story that I am telling myself, that I'm repeating over and over again, of the guilt and the shame? And whatever's happened, just knowing that we can't change the past, so it's not going to help us by being stuck on that. Sitting with this now and understanding where this thought is coming from, what can I do to rewrite that thought? So I feel really guilty about this. I feel really shameful about this. What thought can I replace it with? And even if it's just, okay, this isn't going to stay the same, and reminding ourselves of a time that we have got ourselves out of this. And even when it feels so unbearable and you don't know where to put yourself and you don't know where to turn and you want to run away, just reminding yourself that it doesn't last, nothing stays the same, and that you have been out of this and that you will be again. And just acknowledging that you can change this thought. And even if the thought is it's just a thought, or this isn't going to stay the same, or Georgia, it's okay, just be. Something to just calm yourself down in that moment. Because when we're in that discomfort, it's that fight or flight. So what do we want to do? We want to run away and we want to numb, and we don't want to experience this. We don't want to feel this. And it's, when I had an eating disorder, that's what I would do. I would numb it down with the food because I didn't want to feel this intense feeling. But you numb it with the food or with another trigger or with alcohol or getting fucked up or whatever it is to try and avoid it. But the truth is that we don't avoid it because it just comes back. So then I've had a binge or I've numbed it for a bit and then I've added more layers of shame and guilt, or it comes back. So we really have to just sit with it no matter how uncomfortable it is. The only way out is in. And it's just about really acknowledging it, really acknowledging it. And okay, how can I move forward? So for me, I get really stuck on feeling guilty about things in the past. And I get really stuck on this hamster wheel and the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. But I can't change the past. So what lesson can I learn kind of in this guilt? What am I feeling guilty for? So what can I do next time? Because I can't rewrite history. So it's just about knowing what I can learn from this feeling. What can I learn from it that next time I can act in a different way? And self-kindness and patience in these moments. Again, just not adding more judgment to it and just really trying to self-soothe in these moments. I was at the ashram at the weekend, the most incredible weekend, to the incredible Rachel. She led us through the most transformational experience, but I was really processing a lot and there were times I couldn't get out of my head. But I was telling myself to get out of my head. That didn't help because that was just adding more judgment onto being into my head. So I just had to allow and to just, if I'm in my head, I'm in my head, and just, I've got to be with this, I've got to sit with this, I've got to allow whatever's coming. And it was such a release. And when I allowed it instead of fighting it, it was able to process. And I really felt into what the emotions I was feeling and what lesson it was teaching me. And sometimes it's so hard to do that by ourselves. So if we have a person, if we have our person, our cheerleader, or those people in our lives that we feel really safe to talk about those things with when we're really in the feelings, it's also so happy. And Rach was such a savior for me for that. And even just giving me loving touch, So if we have those people and it's so unbearable for us, or we're so stuck in our mind, then reach out to someone to help you go through it and to really process it. Because again, when we have this blockage in our throat, it just manifests. So it's really helpful to let it out. It's so important. And if we can't do that with ourselves, then phone a friend, reach out. There's no shame in that. It's actually really brave and it's really powerful. And Gossia, what I've done make me unlovable, or I'm a fraud, or I don't deserve to be trusted. So I totally understand those thoughts. And as women, we give ourselves things to beat ourselves up about. I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. And feeling that from past relationships or friendships or other things that we've done. And it's about rewriting that, because that's not your truth. That is not your truth. And it just sits and it eats away at you. So is there a loving thought in that moment, Gossia, that you can replace that with? That I am lovable. And remind yourself of something that proves that you are lovable. Even if it's people that have told you that you're lovable. Remind yourselves, because our mind has a really funny way of wanting to go first to the negative, to give us proof of the reasons why we believe that we're not lovable or worthy or whatever those negative thoughts are. So remind your mind that you are, and give yourself proof of that. And just really, really, really feeling into that area and trying to breathe through it. When I got back from the ashram, on this high and being with women and really feeling myself and going through this process, and I got back to the city and I got back to my apartment, the amazing Samantha's apartment, so thank you. But I felt really alone and I couldn't sleep and I was feeling the feels, I was processing everything. And actually, ladies, I was rolling around in my bed all night, like rolling around, because it was so uncomfortable to sit with this. Like, I didn't know where to turn or what to do. It kind of like needed to purge out in a way. But I just really had to calm myself down just to like really breathe and understand that this isn't going to last. This just isn't going to last. And I reminded myself of how amazing I felt, and I know that I will feel that again. And that kind of really calmed me down in that moment, just knowing that it's going to pass. You know that phrase, this too shall pass? Well, it really is true. And then being able to share my experience also kind of really helped it release, because when we're so stuck in here, we really catastrophize the situation and it becomes so big when we're stuck on that hamster wheel. So whether it's journaling, sitting and just writing about it, that's so cathartic and releasing, for me it's reaching out. So whatever little tools are good for you. Sometimes, I have a WhatsApp chat with myself, and sometimes I even voice note myself. So trying that, just kind of releasing and processing what has gone on. Because the truth is, we're going to experience this on a day-to-day basis. We can't run away from it. And in fact, we don't want to run away from it, because it makes us human. And it's just, we get stronger each time, and we learn so much about ourselves in those moments. And how resilient and strong we are, even when it feels so unbearable. And even if it feels like we're in a rabbit hole, you've got yourself out of the rabbit hole umpteen times, and you will do it again. So just reminding yourself that it isn't going to stay the same. But really kind of tapping into what that is, what that feeling is, and understanding that it came from a thought, which is most likely a story or a belief that we have told ourselves over and over again. And so really kind of seeing it and acknowledging it and trying to understand where it came from. And if you can break it down and replace it with a nourishing thought instead. And it doesn't have to be something that you totally, like, I'm fucking amazing, if that doesn't feel real, but something that is tangible and real, and that can just give you that self-love in that moment, just even saying it's going to be okay, and I know it's just a thought. But reminding yourselves that we can't change the past. We just can't change the past. It's gone. So being stuck in the guilt is just so unserving. It's not doing anything for us. But tapping into that guilt or tapping into that emotion and trying to understand where it came from and how you can learn from it and how you want to act moving forward. And energy is always flowing. So when it feels stuck, it's about coming back to our breath and letting it move through us, or doing a yoga class, or going for a walk, or moving our bodies so that we can move the energy. Because when it gets stuck and it just sits and it rots, it's so uncomfortable and it's so unhelpful. And even just at the weekend, we were doing unbelievable exercises of just as women giving ourselves and each other loving touch. And there's something so nourishing in that, of when you're in that moment or you're in the feels, just like, it's orgasmic. It's just like love. It's just love. And we've got to always come back to that. Got to always come back to the love and just knowing that it's going to be okay. So being able to put a hand on your heart or a hand on your stomach or whatever it feels uncomfortable, and just giving it that soothing touch. Promise you, it's medicine. It really is medicine. So I just want to acknowledge where you are right now, and I want you to acknowledge, no matter how uncomfortable it is and whatever you're processing or whatever you're going through, it's going to move and it isn't going to stay the same. And that you are brave, and it's not a reason to beat yourself up, but it's an opportunity to kind of really learn from what this story is telling us, and understanding that this story or this thought isn't a fact, and we have the opportunity to change it at any time, no matter how difficult or impossible or uncomfortable it feels. Just know that you do, and that in every feeling there really is a wonderful lesson and an opportunity to grow and to move forward. And whatever has been, and it's okay. It's totally okay. Whatever happened has happened, and there's no need to carry it as these heavy rocks and these heavy weights. So ladies, I invite you to just let go of them. Just get those rocks off your shoulders. Untie the shackles. And now, in this new moment, to just really feel into those feels. Know that it makes you human and it makes you alive. And that whatever uncomfortable feeling you're feeling is, it's going to pass. And there's a true lesson in there. So thank you for watching, and I hope this was useful and that you resonated with this. And if you have any questions or you want to talk about your experiences, I would love for you to comment below. And yeah, just remembering that we have each other in this life, and we're not supposed to walk this life alone. And that's what the sisterhood is all about. And that's what this weekend at the ashram was about. Coming together as women, and we're all on different places in our journeys, but we're so intertwined, and we can really see each other in times often when we can't see ourselves, and with that loving reflection to each other. So in these moments, reaching out to a friend, to a sister, because it is so healing. So I want to give a huge shout out to the incredible Rachel Kiner for her transformational, powerful weekend, and she's going to be doing so many more. So ladies, watch this space. And the sisterhood, it's all about connection and being together on this journey. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. We've got an incredible week ahead. The incredible Ashley and Rach are coming on to talk about masculine and feminine and how we can really balance those. And we've got Kim doing a nourishing meditation for the body, and that's going to be amazing. So just have an amazing day, a wonderful week. Tune in every day at 11 for some top tips and wisdoms. And don't forget to reach out and use this group. It's the sisterhood. So big love and have a wonderful day, and feel those fucking feels when they arise and your mind says that you want to run away or you want to numb. Feel it. Fucking feel it, because there's a prize in there. A woman.